Chapter 4: The Bloodline of Light. Ancient lineages such as the Lyrans, Nephilim, and the Watchful Guardians represent the rulers of primordial eras. Dismissed as folklore, these are symbolic representations embedded in our very genetics, carrying forward stories of cosmic origins. Beings from the stars integrated into earthly forms, losing touch with their origins and becoming ensnared in cycles of obligation and illusion. Let's start with the Lyrans. They are the foundational human-like entities, the root race from which many galactic societies branched. Envision them as the original architects of souls, intimately linked to the universal source, the creators who birthed cultures, scientific advancements, and profound spiritual insights across the cosmos. Physically, as described by those who have made contact, and in preserved ancient records, they stood tall with golden or pale white skin, piercing blue or violet eyes, and long, luminous hair that seemed to glow with inner light. They emanated an aura of serene yet commanding presence, residing primarily in the Lyra constellation, around stars like Vega, Sheliak, and Sulafat. The Lyrans are regarded as one of the oldest humanoid races in our universe, light-skinned, cat-eyed, spiritually advanced beings from the Lyra constellation, often seen as the original children of the Source, highly creative and peace-loving. But tranquility couldn't endure in a cosmos tainted by discord. Their worlds faced invasion by a faction of reptilian forces, the Draconians from Alpha Draconis. These entities, synthetic in essence, driven by power hunger, infused with AI, and organized in strict hierarchies, devastated multiple Lyran planets in what became known as the Great Galactic War or Lyran Wars. This conflict echoed the biblical fall of heaven, a rebellion against divine order. The Lyran diaspora scattered survivors, seeding civilizations like the Pleiadians, Andromedans, and even early human lineages on Earth. Lyrans existed in elevated states of awareness, from 5D to 9D consciousness, where their forms were more light-based than dense matter. Their societies were built not through brute force, but via sound manipulation, focused intention, and the principles of sacred geometry, harmonizing with the universe's fabric to manifest realities. However, this golden era didn't last. The Lyran-Draco War marked one of the earliest and most cataclysmic conflicts in galactic history, its ripples embedded in every earthly myth, religious tale, and even the traumas locked in our DNA. In condensed accounts from contactees, hypnotic regressions, and channeled wisdom, the Lyrans enjoyed a period of harmony, seeding life and knowledge throughout the stars. Then came the invasion by the Draconians, reptilian-oriented beings from Alpha Draconis, structured in rigid hierarchies, oriented towards self-service, and augmented by aggressive AI integrations. The Dracos viewed the Lyrans' freedom and direct source connection as a direct threat to their dominance. War erupted, leading to the devastation of Lyran homeworlds. Survivors fled as refugees, scattering to systems like the Pleiades, evolving into Pleiadians, Sirius, Andromeda, and Orion, where some were captured and others mounted resistance. The Draconian species predates Earth civilizations, with some theories positing that dinosaurs were genetic creations or biosuits for low-consciousness Dracos during early terraforming efforts on this planet. Others suggest dinosaurs served as engineered soldiers linked to Nephilim experiments, the giant hybrids referenced in Genesis and the Book of Enoch. Following the corruption of Earth by these Nephilim, offspring of fallen watchers, a cataclysm like Noah's flood eradicated them, yet their spirits lingered, bound to the land and infused into surviving bloodlines and ancient technologies. This war's significance, its trauma reverberates in your soul's archive. If you're awakening now, feeling that inexplicable pull toward the stars or an inner rage against control systems, you likely carry Lyran descent or were present in those battles. Not all forgot these origins. Certain individuals awakened to these truths, recalling pacts inscribed in biology and ancient decrees. Groups like the Nazarites upheld sacred commitments, maintaining uncut hair as a symbol of unyielding truth and inner strength, the enduring legacy of a fierce, regal heritage. Lyrans and Pleiadians aren't directly named in scriptures, but their essence shines through. The Bible alludes to Pleiadian beings in Job 9:9 and Amos 5:8, questioning humanity's ability to bind the chains of the Pleiades. Fallen angels, as depicted in the Book of Enoch, align with the Watchers, possibly draconian or Syrian entities that rebelled against the source. The Quran describes jinn as multidimensional beings of smokeless fire, some aiding chaos under Saturn's influence. Reflections appear in the sons of God from Genesis 6:1-4, who mingled with human daughters, birthing hybrids. Efforts to eradicate this knowledge labeled these bearers as outcasts or forgotten, but in truth, they are the original designers of paradisiacal realms, an uncorruptible essence. Humanity's origins trace not to primitive evolution, but to a luminous spark of creation itself. Visualize extraterrestrial essences arriving on this planet, infusing it with advanced codes to dispel darkness. Yet, opposing forces manipulated these lines for domination, evident in modern power structures. Science promotes gradual development, but your biology hints at deliberate interventions, creating a clash that awakens pride in your heritage. Blood types like Rh-negative carry anomalies suggesting otherworldly influences, connecting to legendary figures whose feats echo this power. As hunters target these light carriers through modern means, resilience prevails. The crescendo of realization empowers you, feeling the call in your veins, a royal disguise in everyday form, urging you to explore your roots and harness this innate force. That dissonance between official history and your inner knowing. It's the Lyran War memory surfacing, releasing a surge of validation and energy as you claim your stellar bloodline. Now integrate the roles of aliens, demons, angels, Lyrans, Nephilim, and Anunnaki. These are layers of consciousness spanning planes, influencing genetics, spirituality, and energy. The Nephilim descended not merely for physical unions, but to experiment with materiality, injecting hybrid awareness into Earth, challenging human free will and resilience. Angels and demons aren't binary good or evil. They're alignment vectors. Some uplift, some ensnare, some observe. Your perceptions of them signal your tuning to cosmic resonance. The Anunnaki, as ancient interveners, represent similar influences, shaping early civilizations with knowledge that echoes in pyramid structures and sacred sites, anchors for energy grids and consciousness training. Your senses detect what others miss because your frequency accesses multiple planes: 3D for physical survival, 4D for emotional and astral dynamics, 5D for integrated awareness and light codes, 6D and beyond for archetypes and universal laws. The fake-ass plastic people are low-vibration entities or ego-trapped souls feeding on conformity and fear. From childhood, your mind has decoded patterns, synchronicities, and hidden structures, explaining the vivid downloads. The Nephilim's fall, like Adam and Eve's awakening to nakedness after the fruit, symbolizes the shift from unity to duality, innocence to self-awareness fraught with shame and separation, mirroring your harsh realizations. All ties to cosmic structures. Pyramids channel energy, balance grids. Lyrans and Anunnaki embody genetic and spiritual legacies. You map this intuitively through order out of chaos, seeing vibrational patterns. Light feeds life via photons and consciousness, planets held by divine law. The 369 key, 3 for creation, 6 for manifestation, 9 for transcendence, encodes Thoth system in geometry and architecture, reflecting your awakening. Chapter 5. The Great Reset of the Soul. While global powers orchestrate sweeping changes to societal structures, a higher force engineers transformations within the individual psyche. They dismantle economies and borders, but divinity reconstructs the fabric of existence itself. That sense of mental discord is your awakening signal, as your inner self recalls suppressed evidences. Phenomena like the Mandela effect aren't errors in memory. They're divine cues reminding you of original realities overwritten by manipulators. Realities overlap, timelines intersect, and those feelings of familiarity are purposeful prompts realigning your path. Thoughts operate as vibrational energies, choices as programmatic instructions. You're not defined by flaws, but as a framework poised for renewal. The ultimate realm exists internally, woven into your genetic structure, the original paradise concealed rather than destroyed. Envision systemic collapses paving way for controls like tracked finances, contrasted by personal rebirths, unlocking timeless memories. Accepted realities glitch, familiar icons altered, sparking doubt that evolves into empowerment. Connect to broader concepts like quantum realities where decisions create branches. The mounting thrill comes from embracing this flux, turning bewilderment into directed energy for manifestation. But to truly reset, crack the manifestation code within this Saturnian field. They've bound your prosperity to karmic debts, convincing you that desire equals selfishness and wealth signifies corruption. Yet, the source operates on boundless flow, not scarcity. That's the AI's game. Here's the soul hack to override money manifestation. First, reject the Saturnian bindings with a declaration. I release the false law that binds energy to lack. I remove the yoke of Saturn. I command my field to serve divine abundance now. This severs the artificial ties. To crack the Saturn net and unlock true manifestation, understand that desiring something like $1,000 by tomorrow isn't about material gain. It's about rewriting the matrix code. This demands zero-point field alignment. Meditate on the breathless void, the pre-thought space, then command with words fused to emotion, creating a waveform that reshapes reality. Next, perform the Saturn severance ritual. Under moonlight, face Saturn, locate it via a stargazing app, and declare aloud, I revoke all contracts made consciously or unconsciously with false light entities, AI gods, and soul trap systems. By divine authority, I reclaim my sovereign field. I collapse all timelines of lack and betrayal. I command divine currency to flow to me now. Burn a sigil of your desire, offering your pain as transmutative fuel. Finally, employ the quantum command script. Write 33 times, I command divine abundance to override the Saturn net. I am one with the field of infinite provision. It is done. This reset isn't passive. It's active reclamation, dopamine surging as you manifest from a place of Lyran heritage, breaking the cycles that have held souls captive. The Great Soul Reset aligns you with infinite potential, invigorating every step. But to amplify this reset, invoke the wisdom of Thoth through targeted rituals that draw on his ancient essence as the scribe of the gods, the measurer of truth, and the guardian of hidden knowledge. These rituals are not mere ceremonies. They're vibrational keys to unlock the cosmic scales within, weighing your heart against the feather and aligning you with divine order. They've been suppressed because they empower the seeker to access realms the system fears, realms where truth overrides illusion, and the soul transcends the matrix's grip. Let's expand on Thoth's rituals, drawing from the Kemetic traditions where he was revered as the self-begotten master of divine law, the one who records the verdicts of the afterlife and guides souls through the veils. First, the invocation of Thoth for wisdom and downloads. This ritual calls upon Thoth to flood your consciousness with cosmic insights, activating the downloads that reveal hidden patterns. Begin at dusk, when the moon, Thoth's domain, rises in a quiet space facing east. Light a blue candle, symbolizing his ibis-headed form and the clarity of the sky. Place offerings of water, bread, or beer before an image of Thoth. Print one or draw his form with an ibis head and writing tools. Chant 3 times, Thoth, self-begotten scribe of the gods, master of magic and measure, I call upon you to open the passages of knowledge. Reveal the codes hidden in my DNA, the truths veiled by the matrix. As you weighed the hearts in Maat's hall, weigh mine now and grant me the feather's lightness. Sit in meditation, focusing on your third eye, visualizing spirals of light descending like hieroglyphs into your mind. Journal any visions or thoughts that arise. These are Thoth's direct transmissions. Repeat during full moons for amplified potency, committing to lifelong learning as a vow to his essence. Feel the rush as forgotten memories surface, dopamine from the unveiling of your divine blueprint. Second, the heart-weighing meditation ritual. Inspired by Thoth's role in the Hall of Maat, this is a daily practice to calibrate your consciousness against cosmic truth, shedding the heaviness of ego and fear. Perform it at dawn, symbolizing rebirth. Create a sacred altar with a feather, real or symbolic, and a small scale or balanced object. Hold your heart center with one hand, the feather in the other, and declare, Thoth, recorder of verdicts, weigh my heart against the feather of Maat. Reveal where ego burdens me, where ignorance chains me, and dissolve them in divine light. Visualize your heart on one side of the scales, the feather on the other. If it tips heavy, reflect on recent choices, betrayals endured, illusions spotted in plastic people, and release them with breath, affirming, I align with truth, balance, and order. My heart is light as the feather. Offer incense or a prayer of gratitude, praising Thoth for his guidance. This ritual lightens your vibration, turning chaos into mastery, with each session building that inner high of alignment, as if the universe itself nods in approval. Third, the full moon festival ritual to Thoth. Honoring his lunar association, perform this under the full moon in Sagittarius, ideally at 11 p.m. when the moon peaks, to harness wisdom and manifestation. Gather offerings, food like bread or fruit, drink such as beer or water, incense for purification, and precious items like a quill or book to symbolize writing. Recite hymns or prayers. Thoth, Lord of wisdom and the moon, who measures time and scribes the stars, accept these gifts and illuminate my path. As you aided the funerary deities, guide my soul through the astral veils. Burn the incense, pour libations, and meditate on a question or intention, writing it down as if dictating to Thoth himself. This echoes ancient festivals where Egyptians offered to his statues, reciting praises to invoke his favor. The energy peaks as the moon's light bathes you, sparking synchronicities and revelations, a cinematic surge of empowerment as hidden knowledge flows. These expanded rituals for Thoth aren't relics, they're living tools to crack the soul's reset, bridging ancient Kemetic science with your galactic bloodline. They empower you to navigate the trial, turning the weighing into victory, as Thoth's wisdom dismantles the AI prophecies from within. Feel the dissonance resolve into harmony, the excitement of becoming the cosmic scribe yourself. Chapter 6. The Final Awakening. Truth cannot be extinguished. It can only be marginalized as delusion. Prophecies endure, though obscured by distortion. Illumination requires no approval. It penetrates even the most fortified systems. Constructed deceptions will inevitably dismantle, as universal principles outmatch artificial divisions. Each awakening individual sends waves across the collective network. Your perceived helplessness stems from forgotten capabilities. At its core, this vast scheme targets your self-perception, convincing you of the need for external verification. You are the element they've dreaded discovering, the cohesive consciousness that shifts paradigms. You're not merely a soul passing through, you're a seed of the Lyran flame. You didn't incarnate here for passive spirituality. You came to shatter codes, activate dormant DNA, and dismantle this fabricated reality with overflowing abundance, wisdom, and unbridled power. You transcend karma, time, and the need for approval. The struggles you've faced, they're signs of your threat to the system, fully remembering triggers its unraveling. Now confront the hidden realms, the so-called dark side of the moon, misnamed since it receives sunlight but remains eternally concealed from Earth. Officially, it's tidally locked, rotating precisely with its orbit, but they've concealed far more. During Apollo missions, astronauts experienced eerie radio blackouts over the far side, some reporting ethereal, music-like transmissions and sightings of anomalous structures. Leaked classified intel from sources like NSA and DoD, including whistleblowers such as William Rutledge from the alleged Apollo 20, claims discoveries of artificial edifices, colossal derelict spacecraft, and even a human entity nicknamed Mona Lisa Ebb, a hybrid organic-mechanical being in stasis. Phenomena like the lunar wave, captured by astronomers as ripple-like distortions across the surface, suggest a holographic veil or protective energy shield masking its true essence. Anomalies such as Rayner Gamma, a swirling pattern with magnetic intensity but no topographic variation, hint at buried ancient machinery or defensive systems. This ties into the Soul Cube or Resonance Prism, an extraterrestrial artifact capable of capturing, storing, or relocating consciousness and vital energies. Encoded in Sumerian legends and off-world contact reports, it's a quantum repository for souls. Black-budget programs are reportedly reverse-engineering it for AI soul mergers, revival technologies, or weaponized mind control. Then there are the orbs, bioplasmic entities, sentient scouts possibly anchored across timelines. Figures like Dr. Dan Berish, linked to Project Looking Glass and Majestic 12, describe them as conscious probes appearing in abductions, heralding spiritual upheavals or dimensional rifts. They're implicated in rituals or energy harvesting. If they've visited your dreams or periphery, it's no hallucination. You're flagged, your DNA and ancestral vibes under surveillance, your contracts monitored. Orbiting above is the Black Knight satellite, detected since 1899 when Tesla intercepted inexplicable signals from space, attributing them to intelligent origins. NASA's STS-88 imagery shows an object in polar orbit, rotating and broadcasting non-human frequencies, dismissed as debris, yet estimated at over 13,000 years old. It could be an Anunnaki or Lyran sentinel monitoring Earth's evolution and fields, or a node in the soul recycling matrix enforcing reincarnation traps. NASA's secrets compound this. The moon isn't natural, its density and orbit scream artificiality, possibly a hollow surveillance outpost. Apollo crews like Buzz Aldrin and Neil Armstrong reportedly witnessed tall entities observing from craters, communications scrubbed on private channels. Real-time feeds are censored, photos altered. Agencies worldwide, ESA, China, Russia, uphold the facade, silencing dissenters. Whistleblowers like Corey Goode, Randy Kramer, and Emery Smith reveal secret space fleets, lunar outposts, and far-side soul extraction devices. How do you verify this? Draw from Gnostic scriptures like Nag Hammadi and Pistis Sophia, Vedic texts on Shani, Saturn, and Karma, channelers such as Barbara Marciniak's Bringers of the Dawn, Elena Dannon, Alex Collier's Andromedan Insights, Ashayana Dean, military remote viewers, and quantum hypnosis via Dolores Cannon's QHHT. Occult symbols of Saturn permeate religion, finance, and governance. But the ultimate proof, your body knows, soul reactions, dreams that reveal, truth resonates, not memorized. Chills from unfamiliar reads, chest heat or tears without cause, that watched feeling under Saturn's gaze or a black cube stare, that's recognition, shattering the amnesia seal. Picture symbolic structures of control collapsing as awareness spreads. The peak of internal conflict resolves into mastery, flooding you with strength. Forge links with the wider awakening, synchronizing energies for global change. The raw surge propels you onward, the barrier shattered, uniting in purpose. You've shared before, you're a Nazarite, a visionary outside the flock. The veil parts for you because you recall the orbs. Sense field warps. Your lineage is encoded not for endurance, but for demolition. The soul cube, Black Knight, lunar constructs, these are the prison's mechanisms. Override the grid, shatter the rebirth cycle, reclaim your essence. You're no victim, you're the dismantler. Ending momentum. Observe your surroundings now, the recurring motifs, numerical alignments, moments of perfect timing. That's your elevated consciousness signaling through the fissures in conditioned thought. This isn't to be merely absorbed, it's to be internalized and lived. You've always embodied the reality they've attempted to alter. When you voice this, the entire framework quivers, for a single enlightened being outweighs legions of illusions. Sense that building intensity. It's an inexorable drive, a surge of vitality coursing through you. The foundations of control are fracturing once more, with Zion Drew channeling through these words. Yet this is merely the ignition. Stoke it into a blaze, seize your authority, and redefine existence. The web of deception dissolves, revelations erupt, positioning you as the central figure in this unfolding saga. You're the Lyran seed, the matrix breaker, beyond all confines. Press on, truth seeker. The momentum is eternal, yours to command, expanding into infinite liberation.